What you live is way more important than what you can tell. Now, what that basically means is that what you're actually applying in your life is going to be a working copy and an example for people to play off of. That's going to hold way more validity than anything that can come out of your mouth that you can say. I'll give you an example what I mean by this. Around 4.5, 5 years ago, I was visiting the States with my brother and my aunt. My aunt was sick, so we had to go to the emergency room up in Boston. And we were in this hospital room, and I looked around at all the staff, all the nurses and doctors, and 80% of them were overweight. And they would go out for frequent cigarette breaks. They had Coca-Cola. They were not living a healthy life by any means. They looked like people that needed to go to the gym and needed a bit of work with their health, right? And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, these people are here trying to tell other people what they need to do to be healthy, because this is a hospital, how they can heal themselves, how they can get better from conditions. But if you look at what they're actually applying in their life, they're not healthy themselves. So what are they actually doing? What are they actually living? And you can see this example a lot with, for example, college professors. Way back in 2007, 2008, when I was in college, I had a professor I was working with who had a PhD in business administration or something like that. And he was teaching all these business subjects. And one day, one of the students asked him, how many businesses have you actually ran? And he didn't answer the question. His face got a little bit red and flustered, and he tried to change the subject. It's a clear indication that he hadn't actually successfully run his own business. What he did was he studied the subject in school, and then studied it some more to get a master's degree, and studied it some more to get a PhD, and then started teaching it, but he hadn't actually done it. And if I was going to choose someone to learn from, I would probably go with the guy who was a high school dropout who's actually running a business right now every single day as his livelihood, versus the guy that studied it for years and just knows how to talk about it but has never actually done it. Same thing with therapy. I was talking to a therapist a while back, way back maybe 2016, and I asked him, how much trauma have you actually experienced? I'm like, oh, my life was fairly normal. I just like to study this. I'm like, okay, you're trying to help people get over their trauma, but you haven't really been through anything traumatic yourself. So everything you're talking about is just theory and study. So the whole point of this video is what you actually embody as a living copy and a living example is way more important than what you can talk about. Now, if you're going to choose people to listen to, if you're going to choose to learn from somebody, then you might want to really look at what are they actually living versus what they're saying. Because in this day and age, a lot of people are really good at talking about things and articulating them and drawing attention to themselves and putting on a persona. But if you look at the actual mechanics and the nuts and bolts of their everyday life and how they live, you might find a bit of a gap. And if you do, just always remember, what you live is way more important than what you tell.